You are frustrated. You've been following the guidelines for years. You diligently choose salads over fried food. You've tried to cut down on animal fats and red meat. Yet, your last blood panel showed no improvement. In fact, your problematic LDL cholesterol is higher than ever. And now the conversation with your doctor inevitably turns to statins. You feel a sense of betrayal by the very system designed to keep you healthy. This video is your validation. The problem is not your lack of effort, but a fundamental misunderstanding, actively promoted by the food industry. The conventional advice led you into 5 specific deadly traps. You are eating the wrong healthy foods that replace heart-healthy nutrients with inflammation-driving toxins. This is the secret reason your cholesterol is still stubbornly high. We will expose these 5 cholesterol traps. I will give you the scientific knowledge to dramatically lower your dangerous LDL and raise your protective HDL naturally before your next appointment. Let's dismantle the biggest myth that started this whole mess. The low-fat trap. Enemy number 1. The first and most damaging mistake is the decades-long adherence to the low-fat mandate. This was the core directive of the late 20th century, when food manufacturers were instructed to remove natural, saturated fats from products like cheese, yogurt, and creamy dressings. They created a massive flavor deficit. To compensate, they had to flood these products with something cheaper and more palatable. That ingredient was sugar, often disguised as fructose, maltodextrin, or corn syrup. Here is the metabolic disaster this swap created. When you consume refined sugar, especially fructose in liquid or processed forms, it places an immediate, enormous burden on your liver. Your liver is the primary organ responsible for metabolizing this sugar. The excessive influx of fructose triggers a process called de novo lipogenesis, which translates to new fat synthesis. Your liver quickly converts this sugar into free fatty acids. These new fatty acids are packaged into VLDL, or very low-density lipoproteins. VLDL is triglyceride-rich and is a precursor to the most insidious form of bad cholesterol. Through subsequent chemical reactions in your bloodstream, these VLDL particles transform into the tiny, hard, damaging particles known as small, dense LDL, or SDLDL. We need to understand this distinction clearly. Standard LDL is often large and buoyant, like a cloud. SDLDL is small, dense, and rigid, like microscopic grit. This SDLDL is the true arterial menace because its small size allows it to penetrate the endothelial lining of your blood vessels easily. Once lodged in the artery wall, it is highly susceptible to oxidation, which is the necessary step for plaque formation. By choosing that fat-free fruit yogurt or that light salad dressing, you inadvertently swapped a manageable fat for a metabolic disruptor that created the most dangerous form of bad cholesterol. The actionable solution is simple, yet revolutionary. Always choose the full-fat product that contains the lowest amount of added sugar. The small amount of natural saturated fat is far less metabolically disruptive than the flood of refined sugar. This choice is the cornerstone of naturally lowering your cholesterol. The fruit juice deception. Mistake number 2 is the ubiquitous glass of juice or the seemingly wholesome fruit smoothie. You are led to believe that since it comes from fruit, it must be healthy and rich in vitamins. This is the industry's masterful use of the health halo effect. The moment fruit is juiced, its entire protective biological structure is destroyed. The insoluble fiber, the physical matrix designed by nature to slow digestion, is removed. This transforms a whole food into a concentrated, high-speed sugar delivery system directly to your liver. Consider this metabolic comparison. Eating an orange takes time, involves chewing, and the fiber slows the fructose release over several hours. Drinking a glass of commercial orange juice delivers the equivalent sugar load of 5 oranges in 3 minutes, bypassing all your body's natural safety brakes. This rush of fructose causes a massive surge in blood triglycerides. Furthermore, this acute metabolic stress leads to a phenomenon known as postprandial lipemia, where your blood is flooded with fats immediately after the meal. Research, including studies from the National Institutes of Health, confirms that this rapid fructose consumption significantly increases postprandial triglycerides and worsens the overall lipid profile, contributing to insulin resistance over time. Insulin resistance is the condition where your cells stop responding properly to insulin, forcing your body to store more fat and increasing the production of VLDL from the liver, thus boosting LDL. To lower your cholesterol naturally, the rule is strict. If it is labeled juice and the fiber has been removed, it is a sugar bomb disguised as health food. The smart swap is to consume low glycemic, high fiber, whole berries like blueberries or raspberries, which contain the valuable fiber that physically binds to and removes cholesterol. The oxidized cooking oil killer. Mistake number 3 concerns the oil you trust for your cooking, often purchased for its purported heart-healthy polyunsaturated fat content. We are talking about refined seed oils, canola, corn, soybean, cottonseed, and sunflower oil. We were told to fear butter and embrace these polyunsaturated fatty acids, or PUFAs, which are rich in omega-6. Omega-6 is an essential fatty acid, meaning your body needs it. The mistake is not the fat itself, but the industrial imbalance and the chemical state of the oil you're using. The optimal ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids in the human diet should be close to 1 to 1, or at most 4 to 1. The standard American diet, dominated by processed foods cooked in seed oils, often pushes this ratio to a disastrous 15 to 1 or even 25 to 1. This extreme imbalance creates chronic low-grade systemic inflammation. Inflammation is the single most critical factor in heart disease. As inflammation damages the lining of your arteries, your body sends LDL cholesterol to the site as a biological patch. However, the chemical structure of omega-6 PUFAs is highly unstable, containing multiple double bonds that are easily attacked by free radicals, a process called oxidation. This oxidation is accelerated exponentially during the processing with high heat and chemical solvents, and it accelerates even more when you use these oils for high-temperature cooking like deep frying or prolonged sautéing. When the fragile omega-6 fatty acids in your LDL particles become oxidized, that LDL is transformed into the highly dangerous inflammatory oxidized LDL. Oxidized LDL is chemically recognized as foreign by your immune system, triggering a destructive cycle of plaque formation, atherosclerosis. The strategic move is not to avoid all fat, but to demand chemical stability. The natural, cholesterol-lowering swap: use cold-pressed, unrefined extra virgin olive oil, which is primarily monounsaturated and highly stable, for cold dishes and light sautéing. For high-heat cooking, use the extremely stable avocado oil or small amounts of heat-resistant saturated fats like grass-fed butter or ghee, completely eliminating the refined seed oils from your diet. The soluble fiber secret. Mistake number 4 is confusing cheap, refined carbohydrates with the true engine of cholesterol reduction, soluble fiber. Many assume swapping white bread for a multi-grain product is sufficient. It is not. Your body desperately needs a specific type of fiber, the soluble kind, to act as an internal scrubber and binder. Soluble fiber performs 2 vital functions to naturally lower cholesterol. First, it forms a viscous gel in your stomach and small intestine, slowing down the absorption of carbohydrates and fats. which stabilizes your blood sugar and insulin levels. Second, and most crucially, it physically binds to bile acids in your gut. Bile acids are produced by your liver from cholesterol. By binding to these acids, the soluble fiber forces them to be eliminated through waste rather than being reabsorbed into the body. This elimination triggers a powerful cascade. Your liver must then pull cholesterol directly from your bloodstream to manufacture new bile acids, resulting in a measurable reduction of circulating LDL. The most potent sources of this magic fiber are foods rich in beta-glucan, specifically oats, barley, and legumes, beans, chickpeas, and lentils. If your whole grain bread does not contain high amounts of these ingredients, it is metabolically inert. For a dramatic, measurable change, focus on supplementation with psyllium husk, the purest source of soluble fiber available. The science is unambiguous. Multiple high-quality randomized controlled trials demonstrate that incorporating a median dose of just 10 grams of psyllium husk per day can lead to a significant, clinically relevant reduction in LDL cholesterol, ranging from 6 to 10%. This is a drug-free, highly effective intervention. By making the habit of 2 teaspoons of psyllium husk in a glass of water or mixing it into your morning oatmeal, you are actively forcing your body to excrete the harmful cholesterol molecules. This simple addition powerfully reverses the SDLDL particles created by the sugar trap. The misunderstood natural fats. The fifth and final mistake is the lingering irrational fear of essential natural fats. The decades-long war on fat conditioned us to fear avocados, eggs, nuts, and fatty fish, products your heart desperately needs. The scientific consensus has evolved dramatically. For the vast majority of people, the cholesterol you consume from whole foods has a surprisingly modest impact on the cholesterol your body measures in the blood. Your body produces most of the cholesterol it needs. The greater influence, as we have detailed, is driven by chronic inflammation, excessive sugar, and the highly oxidized nature of your modern diet. The true strategic goal is not just to lower the LDL count, it is to optimize the quality of your lipid profile, specifically by boosting HDL, the high-density lipoprotein. HDL is the single most powerful protective mechanism against heart disease. It is the body's arterial vacuum cleaner, designed to patrol the bloodstream, scoop up excess cholesterol lodged in the artery walls, and transport it safely back to the liver for reprocessing or removal. A high HDL level is a robust defense against plaque buildup. And what raises HDL? Healthy, essential fats. You must prioritize food sources rich in monounsaturated fats and omega-3 fatty acids. Embrace a daily handful of raw almonds or walnuts, which are rich in omega-3 precursors and monounsaturated fat. Make a habit of consuming fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines at least 2 to 3 times per week, as their potent omega-3s, EPA and DHA, are unparalleled for reducing systemic inflammation and lowering triglycerides. Add the whole egg, consuming the yolk, which contains vital choline and fat-soluble vitamins. When you stop fearing natural, wholesome fats and start eliminating the industrial, sugar and oil-loaded counterfeits, you move from merely managing disease risk to actively building a resilient heart. We have now exposed the 5 hidden cholesterol traps that were secretly sabotaging your health: the low-fat sugar trap, the fruit juice deception, the oxidized cooking oils, the refined grain mistake, and the irrational fear of natural, whole food fats. The central thesis has been proven: the fastest, most sustainable path to lower cholesterol naturally is not through a pill, but through a conscious, evidence-based elimination of these 5 industrial enemies. You now possess the truth, and the strategic blueprint to show your doctor a dramatically improved blood panel at your next visit. This requires simple, immediate grocery swaps, not a lifetime of pharmaceutical dependency. If you've been misled about food, you have almost certainly been misled about supplements. I have synthesized the latest clinical trials to create a companion video. Click the video on your screen right now, where I break down the only 3 supplements truly proven by hard science to effectively lower your cholesterol numbers and why nearly every other product on the shelf is a waste of your money. It's your next logical, critical step on the path to reclaiming your heart health. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of the 5 healthy foods we revealed today are you cutting out first? And what unexpected food do you still eat that you suspect is raising your numbers? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to subscribe to the Health Truth Seeker for more evidence-based nutritional insights. This content is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or before making any changes to your diet or treatment plan.